refinement. When exactly should backlog refinement take place? Now, backlog refinement should come somewhere in the middle of the sprint. Why? Because it's helping you to prepare for the next sprint. So it should come somewhere in the middle. Let's say you have a 2-week sprint and you're starting this week on Thursday, that's the day of your sprint planning. And by, that means the next week, which is leading to the other week, you should have your backlog planning meeting. Typically, I would advise have your backlog planning meeting 1 week after your planning. So you're kind of in the middle of the other one and you can plan for the next one so that if there are any challenges, you can be able to reach out to whoever you need to handle that. All right, with backlog refinement, what does it mean? So backlog refinement, sandbox 1 to 2 areas, purpose, provide time to identify dependency issues, to organize story. The Agile team or the Scrum team is an attendant. The PO is like one of the most key person there because the PO is the one that understands the biggest value of what needs to be done in terms of the backlog and can provide clarification. So the team actually discusses whether the set of candidates or the set of stories should be reduced, increased, and prioritize them. So if you come to the sprint planning without a prioritized backlog, you realize that you're going to put in a lot of time in doing that. So what exactly is a backlog refinement and how can we visualize that in practice? We are going to go to our, we're going to go back to our Jira bot. And for you to do sprint backlog, this is what happened. You always come to your backlog, right? And realize that, okay, if you look at this backlog, this one is the active sprint. Active sprint is what the team is working on and it has update on it. To go back to your backlog, at the top of your backlog is always the active sprint. Now, this already showed me that this is the next sprint coming up. It has already been groomed. We have already done backlog refinement. We're trying to pull out what are some of the work that we can do. So let's say that we're trying to do a backlog refinement for another team. Let me just kind of empty this. You realize that most of the other story in here are trackable, right? So if I empty this, like, okay, we want to do a backlog refinement for our next sprint. So the first thing you do is that you can always create a sprint. So when you create a sprint, just to create a sprint, space for a sprint, it's simply by just clicking on the button, create. When you click here, see this is 36. So this automatically is going to follow what is the next sprint. And then you customize, you run your sprint in 2 weeks. So let's consider that this backlog refinement meeting, I can change the date to say we are doing our backlog for the meeting that's going to start next Thursday. So if I do this, the meeting that will start next Thursday is going to run up to the 12th of May, right? So you see how you can set this and just click create. And then you click create, it's going to automatically appear like this. Now, when you do your backlog refinement, the first thing you just want to go, the PO goes through the backlog and then point out like, oh, I think this story is a priority for us. Then he opens it up and the team have a discussion to see if we have everything that they need, they understand the work that needs to be done there. And then if they understand the work that needs to be done there, what happens is that we move it to the top of the sprint. All right, or we can drag it to sprint 37. So the two ways to do that, you can, if you go here, I can move it to sprint 36, right? So if I move this story to sprint 36, what's gonna happen? See, we're already doing our backlog refinement. We're already picking out tickets that will fit into this sprint. The same thing, we analyze the story, we go and see that, oh, this is a priority. We need to do that in the next sprint. I can simply also just drag and drop it in our next sprint. Now you can also see that this one has a high priority, this one is a normal priority. But if along the line, this one becomes like the most high priority, I can go name it, I can go rename it and change the priority of the story and maybe put it like, okay, this is now a high priority story, right? So if I change this now high priority story, it will also change the mark out here to make it a high priority story. And if we're planning, what we're doing is that we're dragging more tickets into this. just organizing. For the sprint backlog, you definitely must not estimate or assign story point. But if you have enough time, you can assign story point. You can go into detail and even assign story point. When you do that, it makes your backlog planning meeting easy, right? It's just about pulling ticket. Now, backlog refinement or backlog grooming is for the entire team. It's not just for the scrum master and the product owners, for the entire team. So you do all of this, you go through the story, you pick which one you want to, the next on the line, just like the next on the line, until when you feel like you have enough, you leave it there. But you need to, when you're picking them up, you need to consider the cross-functionality of your team. I need to make sure that you're not only picking ticket that will be done by back end. If you have front end developers, you want to pick ticket mix, except that everyone in your team is a full stack developer, means you can work on every story, then you can just pull out in any order. If not, you consider also the capacity and the availability of your team before actually pulling out stuff into your next backlog. So backlog refinement simply means we're getting ready for next sprint. We're trying to look at what we need in order to get ready for the next sprint. All right, that was it. I'll see you in our next session. Our next session is going to be sprint review. What happened in the sprint review? I'll see you in the last scene.